What if you could visit a magical world just by dreaming? What if, while you're snuggled under your blanket, a secret story began to unfold, full of glowing lanterns, enchanted forests, and a girl with hair like golden sunlight? Well, get cozy, because tonight, we're stepping into a story full of wonder. This is the magical bedtime adventure of Rapunzel. Long ago, far beyond the cities we know, past sleepy forests and misty hills, there stood a tower so tall it looked like it touched the clouds. No doors, no bridges, just a single window at the top. And inside lived a girl. Her name was Rapunzel. She had the longest hair you could imagine, longer than a dragon's tail, and brighter than the sun after rain. But even more magical than her hair was her heart. It was full of dreams. She dreamed of adventure, of dancing in flower fields, of meeting friends, and discovering who she really was. But Rapunzel wasn't allowed to leave. She lived under the care of a woman named Mother Gothel, not her real mother, but the one who had taken her as a baby. Why? Because Rapunzel's golden hair held a secret. When she sang a special song, it could heal wounds, even make someone young again. Gothel didn't love Rapunzel. She just wanted to stay young forever. So she locked her away and filled her head with scary stories. The world is dangerous, Gothel would say. Stay here where it's safe. And for years, Rapunzel believed her. But even in her lonely tower, Rapunzel's spirit never dimmed. She painted glowing suns on the walls. She baked and read every book she had, twice. She sang with her little chameleon friend, Pascal, and she imagined all the things she would do if only she could go outside. But the thing she dreamed of most happened every year on her birthday. That night, from the faraway kingdom below, hundreds of floating lanterns would rise into the sky, soft and golden, like stars being set free. She didn't know why, but deep inside, she felt they were meant for her. Then, one day, everything changed. It was just after lunch, bread with honey and a strawberry. Rapunzel was painting when she heard a rustle, a thump, and then a voice. Oh, okay, definitely not my smoothest landing. Someone had climbed her tower. A young man appeared at the window. He had messy brown hair, a crooked smile, and a satchel slung across his chest. "Ho," he said. "You're not what I expected." Rapunzel didn't scream. She just blinked. "And you are Flynn Rider," he said. "Treasure hunter, adventurer, professional tower climber." She raised her frying pan like a sword. "Are you here to rescue me?" He laughed. "Rescue? No, just hiding. But now I'm curious. Why are you up here alone?" And for the first time, Rapunzel told someone everything about the tower, about Gothel, about the lanterns, and when she whispered, "I just want to see them up close," Flynn smiled. "Well then," he said, "let's make it happen." So, after nearly 18 years, Rapunzel wrapped her golden hair around a hook and stepped outside for the very first time. Her toes touched the grass. She gasped. It was cool, soft, ticklish. She laughed. She spun in circles. She ran in little hops. She danced with the wind. And Flynn, who had seen caves, castles, and skyships, stood in awe, watching this girl fall in love with the world. Their journey to the kingdom was filled with wonder. Rapunzel met bluebirds that sang in harmony, squirrels that did backflips, waterfalls that sparkled like glass, and flowers that glowed in the moonlight. But not everything was easy. They stumbled into a tavern, filled with gruff-looking men, big boots, missing teeth, scary scowls. Flynn whispered, "Stay quiet." But Rapunzel smiled and said, "Hello." Everyone froze. Then the room burst into song. Turns out, even the roughest men had soft hearts. One dreamed of playing the piano. Another wanted to be a pastry chef. One loved collecting unicorn plushies. By the end of the night, they were clapping for Rapunzel, dancing on tables, and promising to help her anytime. Later, by a quiet lake, Flynn wrapped a bandage around a cut on his hand. Rapunzel reached out gently. "I can help," she whispered. She laid her hair across his hand and sang, "Flower. Gleam and glow, let your power shine." Her hair shimmered, and the cut disappeared. Flynn stared. "That's incredible." Rapunzel smiled softly. "You're the first person I've ever healed." And in that quiet moment, with the stars above and the fire flickering, something gentle bloomed between them. Not magic. Something better. But far away, Mother Gothel had returned to the tower. She saw the empty room. She realized Rapunzel was gone. Her heart burned, not with love, but with fear. She was losing her magic. She set off into the forest, vowing to bring Rapunzel back. Meanwhile, Rapunzel and Flynn reached the kingdom. The rooftops glowed. Music filled the air. Boats lined the river. It was her birthday. Flynn led her to a small rowboat, and they floated to the middle of the lake. And then, the lanterns rose, hundreds of glowing lights drifting up into the sky like fireflies. Rapunzel gasped, "They're real, they're really real." Flynn lit a lantern, and together, they let it go. For a moment, time stood still, and as the lights danced above, Rapunzel whispered, "I think I know who I am." But Gothel wasn't far. She tricked Rapunzel into returning to the tower. Using lies and fear, Flynn tried to save her, but was captured. Alone in the tower again, Rapunzel stared at the sun-shaped symbol on the wall, the same as the kingdom's flag. And she knew. She wasn't just any girl. She was the lost princess. With that truth burning inside her, she stood tall, magic shining from her heart. When Flynn returned, weak and wounded, Rapunzel made a choice. She let the light shine freely. Gothel tried to stop her, but the light was too strong, too bright, too good. And just like that, Gothel vanished. Flynn collapsed in Rapunzel's arms. Tears rolled down her cheek, and when one tear touched his face, it shimmered and healed. Flynn opened his eyes, smiling. "You found me," he whispered. They returned to the kingdom. The king and queen embraced their daughter, tears of joy falling freely. And once again, the lanterns rose. This time, in celebration, Rapunzel was home. And though her hair no longer glowed, her heart did. She turned the old tower into a library. She filled the palace with color and song. And every year, on her birthday, the kingdom lit lanterns, not just for her, but for every dreamer who dared to chase the light. So if you ever feel stuck, like you're too small, or too far away from your dreams, just remember Rapunzel and let your heart shine. Good night, little dreamer.